Are you tired of feeling like your money disappears the moment you get paid? Do you ever look at your bank account and wonder where it all went? Imagine having complete control over your finances, knowing exactly how much you can spend, how much you can save, and having a clear path toward your financial goals. Today, we are going to break down essential money-saving strategies that fit every lifestyle, no matter your income, spending habits, or background. By the end of this video, you will have a clear plan to master your budget and start building financial freedom step by step. Let us start with the foundation, tracking your expenses. Many people think they know how much they spend each month, but the reality often tells a different story. Without tracking, it is easy to underestimate small purchases that add up over time. For example, a daily coffee that costs $3 may not seem like much, but if you buy it every workday, that is around $60 a month and more than $700 a year. That is money that could go into an emergency fund or help pay down debt. One simple way to begin is to write down every expense for a week. Use a notebook, a spreadsheet, or even your phone notes. After 7 days, you will see patterns that may surprise you. A friend of mine realized that takeout meals were draining almost 20% of her monthly income. By simply reducing that habit, she started saving a few $100s every month. Once you identify your spending patterns, the next step is to set specific savings goals. Goals give you motivation and direction. Without them, saving can feel like a chore. Imagine saying, "I want to save money." That feels vague and uninspiring. Now imagine saying, "I want to save $5,000 in 2 years to travel to Europe." That is a goal you can measure, track, and get excited about. Break down big goals into smaller milestones. If your goal is $5,000 in 2 years, then that means saving about $200 per month. When you see progress towards something meaningful, it becomes much easier to stick with your budget. To make this process smoother, budgeting apps can be incredibly helpful. There are many free and paid apps that connect directly to your bank account, track spending automatically, and categorize expenses for you. For example, apps like Mint, YNAB, or Pocket Guard can send you reminders when you overspend or when bills are due. They give you a clear picture of where your money is going without the need for constant manual tracking. Think of these apps as a personal finance coach in your pocket. They simplify the process and keep you accountable. Now let us talk about one of the most powerful shifts you can make, prioritizing needs over wants. This is not about cutting all joy from your life, but about making smarter choices. Needs are things like rent, groceries, utilities, and healthcare. Wants are things like streaming subscriptions, designer clothes, or dining out. Many people struggle because they blur the line between the two. For example, food is a need, but eating out 3 times a week is a want. Clothes are a need, but buying a new pair of shoes every month is usually a want. A good way to practice this is to pause before making a purchase and ask yourself, is this a need or a want? That small habit can save you from unnecessary expenses and redirect money toward your goals. At this point, you may be thinking that saving money feels like a constant effort. But what if I told you that there is a way to save without even thinking about it? That is where automating your savings comes in. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account right after payday. Even if it is just $50 or $100, automation removes the temptation to spend it. Over time, this creates consistent growth. Think about it like brushing your teeth. You do not debate whether to do it each morning. It is automatic. Treat your savings the same way, and you will be amazed by how fast it grows. Another key element is reviewing and adjusting your budget regularly. Life changes. Maybe you get a raise or maybe an unexpected bill comes up. If you set a budget once and never revisit it, it can quickly become outdated. At the end of each month, sit down and ask yourself, did I stick to my budget? Where did I overspend? Where did I save more than expected? Small adjustments will keep your budget relevant and effective. This monthly review only takes about 15 minutes, but makes a huge difference in keeping you on track. Speaking of creating a budget, one common mistake is being too optimistic. People often cut too much from categories like groceries or entertainment, and then feel frustrated when they cannot stick to it. The solution is to create a realistic budget that accounts for all income and expenses. Do not ignore small costs like gifts, parking fees, or household items. A budget should reflect your real life, not a fantasy version of it. When your budget matches reality, it becomes a tool you can actually follow, rather than a restriction you want to escape. One popular method to create a balanced budget is the 50-30-20 rule. This simple guideline suggests you use 50% of your income for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and debt repayment. Let us say you earn $3,000 a month. According to this rule, $1,500 would cover your needs, $900 would go toward wants, and $600 would be dedicated to savings or debt. Of course, the exact percentages can be adjusted based on your situation, but the principle helps create balance. It ensures you are not overspending on wants while still leaving room for enjoyment. Here is where many people go wrong. They forget to incorporate savings goals directly into their budget. Treat savings like a bill you must pay, not an afterthought. Write it down, assign it a percentage, and stick with it. For example, if you plan to save for a down payment on a house, add a line in your budget that says, "House savings $300. When savings is part of your plan, it becomes a priority, not just something you hope will happen at the end of the month. Another effective strategy is using cash-only budgeting. When you use cash for categories like groceries, dining, or entertainment, you literally see the money leaving your wallet. This makes spending more real and often leads to smarter decisions. If you budget $200 for groceries and only bring that amount in cash, you will be more mindful of what you buy. This method can feel old-fashioned, but it is powerful because it creates a physical boundary that a credit card does not. At this point in the video, if you are finding these tips helpful, do not forget to subscribe to Financial Freedom Path. It helps you stay connected to more strategies that can guide you toward financial independence, and it supports the growth of this community. Now let us continue. Tracking your spending is not just something you do at the start. It is an ongoing habit. Imagine it like going to the gym. You do not work out once and expect to stay fit forever. You need consistency. The same is true for budgeting. Keep an eye on your spending every week. You may realize that your grocery costs are creeping up, or that your subscription services are starting to pile up. With regular tracking, you can catch these shifts early and correct them before they become big problems. Adjusting your budget monthly is the final piece that ties everything together. Life is dynamic, and so is your financial situation. Maybe one month you have extra medical bills, or maybe during the holidays your gift spending increases. Instead of feeling like you failed, view your budget as flexible. Adapt it to match your reality. For example, if you know December will be heavy on gifts, plan to reduce spending on dining or entertainment that month. By treating your budget as a living document, you give yourself grace while still staying on track toward your larger financial goals. Let us quickly recap what we have covered so far. We began with tracking expenses to identify patterns. Then we moved on to setting specific savings goals that inspire action. We explored how budgeting apps simplify the process and how prioritizing needs over wants leads to smarter spending. We discussed automating your savings so money grows without effort and the importance of reviewing and adjusting your budget regularly. We talked about creating realistic budgets using the 50-30-20 rule for balance and incorporating savings directly into your plan. Finally, we touched on cash-only budgeting, continuous tracking, and monthly adjustments to adapt to life changes. Each of these strategies builds on the other, forming a complete system that works for every lifestyle. If you made it this far, You are already ahead of most people who never take the time to understand their money. But knowledge without action changes nothing. Start by picking one strategy from today and applying it this week. Then add another next week, and soon you will see your financial confidence grow. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to Financial Freedom Path so you never miss practical tools to build wealth and reduce stress. In our next video, we will explore powerful side hustle ideas that can boost your income and accelerate your journey toward financial independence. Stay tuned, and together we will walk the path to financial freedom.